This is Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas. New York is a very special place, and especially when you come to Manhattan, the kind of energy that embraces you makes you feel very special. Apparel Export Promotion Council organized buyers sellers meet in New York. Wonderful Penn Plaza. A lot of buyers and sellers are gathering here, and I have the pleasure of the presence of Consul General of India, Ambassador D. Muleji, with me. Muleji, let's begin with today's day, especially this occasion. It is indeed important that people know about what India stands for, as well as what is it that India is offering. From that point of view, share with me the significance of this kind of buyer-sellers meet.
Well, this particular one, centered on garments, apparel, is very significant because I read somewhere that fashion is the best language. You can communicate best through fashion, and this is a great time to be in US, particularly because US economy is recovering. On the contrary, our at the same time, our industry, fashion industry, is coming of age. Our fashion garment makers are very well tuned with the international trends, and what they're producing is outstanding. It's state of the art, garments and apparel, which are being sold all over the world, starting from Tokyo to Paris and then to New York. What I understand is they are receiving extremely good feedback and response to the products that are being displayed. And I see that if we can work together with the US, this particular segment can achieve a huge progress and development.
Apparel Export Promotion Council is one organization. Is we always is a continuous process of exporting, promoting of exports. So we select this kind of a shows. We select the biggest exporters, middle exporter, and small exporters. So we a combination of these three. We select people and bring them, so that the buyers are looking for three different categories. They can able to meet the requirement. Last 6 months, if you see the Indian export to America is picking up. As I said already, there is a economy is improved. Then another reason is our Indian rupee is little depreciated. The third reason is our neighboring countries a lot of issues on a compliance. Now India is one of the country in the world that most compliance-oriented factories we have. So that made buyers to shift from neighboring countries to India. So these are the reason for Indian exports to improve to states.
Fashion on the whole, every time, if you come back to New York for the new season, so it's like a one word now. Because of the internet availability and the media is so active now. So no matter whether the fashion is in US or is in Paris, so they follow each other like anything. So this year also, yeah, the Indian paisleys and the designs out of India, the tie-dyes and the handwork, it is coming back big way. So it is coming back in United States also.
Is there any way to simplify the meaning of fashion for a common man?
Oh, fashion. Fashion is, pursuing something, doing something what your heart tells you to, following. And I would like to tell you, if you talk about, since I'm talking about fashion programs, we have fashion specialization in apparels, in leather products, in textiles, in designing, dealing with knits. So fashion could be anywhere. You could actually talk about layouts. It could be interiors in a house. It could be anywhere. Fashion is something which is very relevant today. It's a lifestyle.
Rajiv, what are your expectations from this buyer sellers meet here in New York, and how excited you are with respect to finding new buyers?
Well, we're here to meet people and make a beginning, start a relationship. The garment business, it is all about relationships, and we are here to make relationships with a few good people and let's see where it goes from there.
At least you found one here. Nice meeting you. And from the point of view of marketing for the small sellers, is there some additional training or some support that is also extended?
Yeah, we have a kind of a fashion forecasting seminars all over India. So we tell exporters what kind of a garments goes, what kind of a colors goes, what kind of a design goes. So we teach a lot of small exporters, prepare them for this kind of a buyer-seller meet. And also before coming, we give some ideas what American market is looking for. So this way we help small exporters because our main motive is to promote the small exporters.
Sanjay, tell me, is it your first time to be a part of such meet?
Not really. We've been part of the shows organized by AEPC and ITPO2, but to the different part of the world, not in United States. This is the first time we've been part of this exhibition. Yeah.
You know, India being a place where they consider that still you can find cheap labor. So, two parts of your industry. One, of course, it's labor intensive. Two, it is very difficult to find a buyer who is reliable and you can consistently work with them. From that point of view, these kind of meets, are they really useful?
Oh yeah, they really, they are very useful. And I just wanted to say one thing, as you said, India is recognized as a cheap labor. But apart from that, we have beautiful artisans working for, beautiful designs. We can convert designs into good garments. So for that also, we are here, and this kind of organizations, they are a big help to promote the artisans rather than the exporters only.
Mulaji, recently we were very, very worried about the devaluation of rupee, and we want to attract foreign investors back to India. If they are losing some sort of interest, we want that to be sustained. From that point of view, these kind of buyer-sellers meet probably have an additional role to play. Keeping that backdrop in mind, the recent measures by Governor of Reserve Bank of India, how do you feel about the strength of rupee now, and what can we expect?
Well, I think it's important for us not to be bogged down by a single issue. And, like per se, an appreciation or depreciation, doesn't mean much unless you try to find out the meaning. Let's take the example of this particular garment exports itself. In one sense, the depreciation of rupee spurs the exports from India. The garment, it is lucrative for the Indian exporter to export more and to explore more markets, because that way he can earn more revenue, the country can earn more revenue. But I think more important than that is to remember that India's fundamentals are very strong, and these market sentiments, which are really a shifting phenomena, should not affect our aspirational levels, as well as the basic fact that India is going to grow at a significantly higher rate and a higher rate in the future.
So there are people who learn about business in the business schools, and there are certain traits that people develop by observing others. So do you think there are certain qualities which are required for someone to be a successful businessman? They come with you as you are born, or they can be developed. And if you want to pinpoint like 3 4 qualities, because if I think loudly with you, then everybody is not cut out to have the capacity to bear the losses and the ups and downs and the uncertainty of the business.
Well, business, especially garment industry, if you'll see all those successful garment exporters today are the first time entrepreneurs. They don't have legacy of their parents who have been running this business. And the qualities, I guess, like any other art, to be success, you have to be focused. You have to have that entrepreneur skill. You have to work hard. I guess success comes also a little bit of fate. In this industry, especially if you can manage workers, because it's a labor-intensive industry. If you know the art of managing workers, I think success comes much faster.
It is a very good event. You see, the medium-sized exporter, the small-sized exporters, this is a good platform for them to develop the business. When they develop their samples, they have the facilities, and if they don't have in this market the customers, it's a very good exposure. And as AEPC, this is a very good event which we organize for the business promotion. And a lot of efforts and pain is taken by the organizing team. I mean, to bring all the so many buyers and so many participants together on a same platform. सो एंड आई थिंक छोटे एक्सपोर्टरों के लिए और मीडियम साइज एक्सपोर्टरों के लिए ये बहुत ही अच्छा मौका रहता है बिज़नेस डेवलप करने के लिए. हाँ, इस्टेब्लिश एक्सपोर्टर्स तो उनके पास तो कस्टमर होते हैं, उनके कस्टमर उनके पास अपने आप चल के आते हैं, उनको कस्टमर के पास नहीं जाना पड़ता है. लेकिन मीडियम साइज़ और छोटे साइज़ के एक्सपोर्टरों के लिए ये बहुत अच्छा मौका है ऐसा इवेंट्स में आना. और AEPC, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉमर्स, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ टेक्सटाइल, ये इवेंट्स को बहुत प्रोत्साहन भी देती है और छोटे एक्सपोर्टरों से इसका एक्सपोर्ट भी बढ़ता है.
How do you consider this buyer-sellers meet at this juncture is more significant than other meets of this nature?
So the thing is, now American economy is picked up. So we came in January and we did a show. We find that there's a good response, and that day itself we planned that we should have one more show this year itself. So we planned in February. Then we selected this date because this date is suitable for the buyers, and this location also just opposite Penn Station. We again selected this place.
This is Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas. You look at fashion, is it the creator's heart that takes the front seat, or the demand or the potential demand from the buyers that you have to sort of make them aware of, your students?
I think it's both which comes into play. It cannot be done single-handedly. You have to somewhere talk about creativity, innovation. So the designer should put in some, creativity, but at the same time, you have to align your creativity with the demand of the client, your buyer, and it has to be together. It cannot be, single.
Of course, American imports, I think it's about 800 billion, but whereas India it's about 3.1, 3.2 billion US dollars to states. So our share is only 3.7 to 4%. At least we should, my point to states, as a chairman of APC, we should improve our exports to states at least to 7%. So we should double the exports. From 3 billion, we should make it 6 billion. So now the time has come, as I said, that atmosphere is good. The most compliance-oriented factories are there, and we understand the language of the buyers, and buyer understand the language of Indian exporters. So I believe that another 3 years or 4 years, the Indian export is going to be doubled in to USA.
The Indian exports is almost 50% of Indian garment export is to US, and we still have only 4% share in the world market. There is a huge scope in this market, huge scope for Indian garment exports. I believe that if events like this are held more often, I think more exposure will be there. I also believe that more participants should take part in this fair and this type of events. Definitely, this is a great help to the exporters, great help to the manufacturers and exporters.
So as he said, there is scope for increasing the export from India in this particular sector. So what is it that is stopping it? And what are the steps that are being undertaken by the government or by entrepreneurs to make it happen? And anything else that you think should be taken into account?
Well, as far as Government of India is concerned, there are a lot of things they are already doing, and there are a lot of things still to be done. I think one of the basic and major thing is labor policies, which has to be changed because garment industry is the labor-intensive industry. Yes, I also sometimes wonder why our share is so less in this market. But I guess, unlike China, we still don't produce bulk garments. We still don't have factories which are which are huge, like they are in China or in Bangladesh, I think the government has to look into this aspect a little bit more. I think the production facilities have to become much larger in this to increase the exports.
We Indian community is very excited about the recent Miss America pageant, wherein for the first time in the history of this pageant, a girl from Indian roots has been chosen. Nina, she hails from Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. When you heard about this news, what was your feeling, and how do you feel it is significant for NRIs here?
Well, it shows the new confidence that is there among the young generation, which is free of any inhibitions and hang-ups of any kind. They are there in US, on their own, in the sense that they really are US. They feel that they are US citizens. They have bonds with India, but these are not necessarily governed by emotions. They celebrate the bond in different ways than the earlier generation would celebrate. And their way of celebrating is, in a sense, to here and now in this United States, we'll establish ourselves as a good force, as a positive and constructive force, and we'll create our own place in this society as a mainstream Americans. And I think that's a very positive thing that I see in the young generation. They're very confident, they're very energetic, and then they have all the assets that all of us have as Indians, coming from a multicultural, multi-ethnic, multi-religious country and background.
Um, Mulay Sahab, you are actually, in a way, very special for Indian community in terms of every Indian is Indian ambassador in some way, but you consolidate all those feelings along with a little bit more understanding. From that point of view, when you come across people who are critical of the girl from Indian origin being Miss America, calling Miss Al Qaeda, or giving other kind of comments which are not really appreciative. So, as someone based here, when you come across these comments, how should you respond to them? And is there something more that one should read between the lines here?
I think I think it's very important that all of us start talking good about ourselves. Often we fail to highlight the strengths, the good points of India. And it is my belief and conviction that India can offer things to the world which no other country can offer. And just strength of character is one thing. Things like, our peace-loving nature as a country, which we derive from Buddha and Gandhi, that's another. As I said, the fact that we all live in pluralistic society, and not today, but for hundreds of years. These are our strengths, and that itself makes us a very good citizen of the world. And I think we need to highlight. There is nothing, bad about shining in the world of fashion. It's in today's world, living well, looking good is considered very important. It's part of, the way you carry, your persona. And I'm very happy that an Indian American girl, has been chosen to be the Miss America. I'm proud of her, and I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate her. She should become our fashion icon here, both for the mainstream American society as well as for the Indian community.
I did watch her dance, and I think she was fabulous, and I loved it. I was happy that it was an Indian representing, New York, of all places, which is so cosmopolitan. It's not Texas, so we didn't have a blonde girl, but we had the beautiful representation of New York.
Tell me, when you were watching her dance, what is it that you could read about her personality?
Well, she looked outgoing, and somebody who really, in spite of being raised here, she's someone who still is true to her culture. She just seemed like a genuine person.
It's pretty commendable that somebody from another country can win a pageant in America. So it's very good news. I'm very happy to hear about it.
So, if you define current trend for, say, New Yorkers or in America, especially from the point of view of the sellers who have come from India, what would be the main tips that you would offer?
New York, when you think of a lot of blacks and off whites, I mean, first of all, the colors which come to your mind, and the silhouettes are straight silhouettes, not very complex silhouettes, but very uh, straight, good silhouettes, cuts, and with some embellishments. With some embellishments here, and they use accessories, a lot of accessories in hand, and um, there's a lot of style here. If you walk on the street, you see best of the styles here, and big names, brands around. So I think they deal with there is color, but I think they deal with neutrals more than, I mean, there are, um, off whites and whites and blacks, which are prominent, I feel, when it comes to New York. Yeah.
No, another related thing is the texture or the kind of clothes that is there. And for someone who is not from this field, it might not be easy for them to differentiate that what kind of cloth is this. Anything that covers your body, some people are happy with that. But from the point of view of fashion oriented eye, what is it that you would say about the kind of clothes that are more prevalent here in New York?
Um, in summers, it was cottons. I saw a lot of knits and cottons mainly, and there could be blends also. And evening wear could be just a little bit of lycra, which takes your body shape, and winters, of course, would be a lot of wool and jackets. I have been studying. This is the normal trend. Knits, lot of knits here in New York. Yes.
I want to thank you, and also before I let you go, just another side, since they say that good and bad go together, so some good news also is accompanied by bad news. Very briefly, I want to touch upon the recent happening in Washington, where among those innocent people who were killed, one was Vishnu Pandit from India also. Um, Now, when something of this nature happens, uh, in what way our office could be helped for the community in case they want to take the body back to India, or any other arrangements, or any words of assurance that you may have for this particular individual or in general?
I wonder whether you are aware that even at 9/11, the consulate did play a very significant role in keeping our community informed, keeping our community's morale high, keeping the harmony within the community, as well as sorting out any issues that would arise out of such critical situation. So I have no hesitation in assuring everybody that consulate is there to help out in all these difficult situations in any which way it is possible, because these things do not come with past prediction or well advanced information. So we have to be prepared, and the consulate or our embassy in Washington, we are all geared up to help out in these kind of critical situations.
Thank you very much, sir. Such a pleasure and honor to be talking to you.
Thank you. Great pleasure.
Have a great day. This is Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas.